Hey, what's going on, guys? So you guys know I obviously love the Switch, and you know I'm always playing personally in docked mode, and because of that I have grown attached and nay in love with the Pro Controller. I have like 3 of them. I personally love using the Xenoblade one, but that's just me. Today, however, my neighbor ended up getting that kind of 8Bitdo Pro Controller kind of thing that they've come up with. It has like a dock and everything. And needless to say, this is it right here. It's the 8Bitdo Ultimate Bluetooth Controller. It's for the Switch and also for Windows. But I will say that I'm going to be testing it out on the Switch. And I want to see if this thing holds up to the Pro Controller. So, like I said, thanks Chris for letting me borrow this thing and check it out. Without further ado, let's unbox this thing and give it a little bit of a test run. So, like I said, you know, when I'm playing, I'm always playing with a Pro Controller, and I have several of them. But I was really interested to see what this is all about, especially because this thing is not exactly cheap. It actually is the cost of a Pro Controller, if not a little bit more, actually, if I remember correctly. But it does come with some other stuff that the Pro Controller doesn't come with, namely this really slick docking station. But let's see what happens when you open this guy up. You get a, well, hold on. In a pretty nice little box for it. So here's the controller itself. I will set this aside, and let's see what else we have in here. We have, this is the docking station. Oh, gosh, they really packed the heck out of it. And also inside, it looks like we have some, move all this over, some cables. So you get a cord there, an instruction manual here. Yeah, so let's go to town. First off, the station itself is pretty nice, and the controller feels great. Weight-wise, they're about the same, which is good, because I liked the weight of this because it's heavy. You know it's not cheap, but you know that's one thing. So this feels like a premium controller. I will say that straight off the bat, this has 2 buttons down here, which is pretty cool. I guess you could probably program these, or it says P1, P2, and also there's a switch on the back which has the Bluetooth and the, what is it, 2.4 gigahertz setting, so I assume that's for using it on your PC. The triggers feel really good. The buttons all feel really good. It has that kind of texture. I don't know if you can see it, but it has that texture on the joysticks. The D-pad feels okay. I'm not going to say it's super good or super bad. I like it when they're a little bit clickier than this, but that's still fine. You have your start select button. This would probably be like your screenshot, probably home. Oh, they also turned it on, it looks like. And the buttons have kind of that gel feel to it, so that's really nice as well. Yeah, kind of like an Xbox button. Xboxes are more kind of jelly buttons. The joysticks feel like they have this kind of same tension. I like the D-pad feel a little bit more on this one, but we'll see when we test it out. And yeah, plugging it up is easy. Look at that. It just clicks right in. It looks like you can probably plug up this to charge. Yep, you can charge it with a USB-C on the front, but it looks like you can plug this into the back and probably plug it straight into your Switch for charging. Let's see if the instructions have anything spectacular to talk about. Probably just going to give you the basic rundown, which it looks like it. Home button. So this is the home button, as well as the status LED, start, L3, R3, all the regular buttons you know of, P1, P2. Bluetooth, you can press home button for 3 seconds. They have a pairing button at the top. You can do wired connection. You can use a 2.4 gigahertz receiver. Turbo feature, that's kind of cool. Turbo feature. It also is a screenshot button by default when connected to the Switch. You can change the status, the LED blinks, blah, blah, blah. So it has a turbo function, which actually could be good for certain video games. But like I said, I want to test this thing out now. I'm going to plug it in. We're going to play like a 2D game, a 3D game, and like I always do when I'm testing controllers, we're also going to put it on to Tetris. In fact, we might start with Tetris because I already have it on, just to kind of see how it feels. But without further ado, let's get started on that. Alright, so I didn't show in the beginning syncing it. It actually just turned on immediately like a Pro controller. I didn't have to have a cable or anything, so it's pretty nice. Right now I'm testing out with some Tetris. I always usually use the D-pad for Tetris. And so far so good, I will say. It's kind of weird. For the sake of recording, I'm not using sound, and it's kind of freaking me out. But it is, going... The controller itself feels great. I'm going to not play too much more, but I just, this is kind of just the litmus test here of using the D-pad in something. Let me just switch that over. Bam. But yeah, so far very, very good. Very much like my Xenoblade controller. Actually, I'm really liking the D-pad. I'll just get a couple more lines here. Show these ruffians what have you. You can definitely tell it is a premium controller, both by the weight and the feel, the button feel, if that makes sense. I mean, it really does feel like a Pro controller, which is very logical for the amount of money that this thing costs. You definitely want to feel like you're coming away with something of quality. So that is, this is, like I said, this is just kind of my little test here. I'm doing not too bad. Just kind of my little test here with the D-pad and Tetris itself. So let's go into something more action-oriented maybe and see how that plays out. So, I didn't know what I was thinking. I figured I would do one more test of the D-pad before I got off of using it. And so I am playing my favorite platformer. So I'm not exactly lying. I did say action game next. This is an action platformer. But yeah, Donkey Kong Country does have some tight platforming. Oops. And of course I jacked that up. But so far, like I said, this D-pad actually works really, really well. Like this is my first, this is actually my first video game. If you're new to the channel, this is the first video game I ever had. So I'm very, I know what it's supposed to feel like, and it definitely feels correct, which is pretty good. Yeah, wow. I'm gonna try it with the joystick too. Dun dun dun. I go for a swordfish and swordfish and don't do 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 do. I'm gonna try with it. No, I forgot you. You gotta wink and a nod. You go through and yeah, I mean the joystick is not too bad either. Like I said, I prefer playing this kind of game with the D-pad, but I'm just gonna run around a little bit just to kind of get the feel of it. And yeah, it is not too bad at all. With the joystick, bing bing bing. Yeah, so I mean, on the whole, this thing is which is hard for me to say, as good as a Pro controller, because I really like the Pro controller a great deal. I mean, this thing was very easy to sync. The D-pad, which is a really big deal for me, works very well, and the joystick feels right too. So now I'm actually going to switch to a proper action game, though, maybe something 3D. I'll grab something just to really get like a good use out of the joystick, because the joystick is gonna really kind of be more used in a game, something, I don't know what yet, maybe, I don't know, we'll find out. But let's go ahead and switch over to that. So I decided to go with Bayonetta, just because I already had it installed and I didn't have to get up. But I tell you what, I haven't played this game in a while, so forgive like how good or bad I am, but I will say that it feels good with the joystick, and this is a game that really relies on really good, quick actions, joystick wise or otherwise, because it's a stylish action game, right? Like a Devil May Cry. Whoop, boom. Yeah, look at that. So, oof, gosh, I had forgotten how crazy this game is. Yeah, I mean this controller overall is I've said it a couple times now, but every bit as good as the Pro controller. And some of the extra features it has and added stuff like the dock here, and I haven't used the or I haven't really had a need to use these buttons, but I'm sure they'd be very useful. I have not really found a use for turbo in many games that are newer, but like if I was playing an older game, like a shooter or something that maybe didn't have the auto fire, I would probably enable the turbo feature. But yeah, overall, I really dig this controller. I think it's definitely worth a pickup. In fact, gosh, if I didn't already have 3 Pro controllers, I might buy one for myself. But you know what? I might still buy one for myself because this thing is really quite nice. So I don't think surprised would be the word, because I definitely thought that it was going to be a quality controller. But definitely a good pickup. If you haven't got one of these controllers, I think it's worth getting. It's really nice. You don't have to buy a charging station for it. It comes with one. And you can use it on your PC, which is a really good advantage. I don't PC game ever, but I mean, if you're looking for something that you want to use on both, obviously that's a good choice. Has great weight. It just feels good. All the buttons feel good. One thing I will say, like an advantage over the Pro controller, is a total personal thing for me, is I love the gel buttons, mainly because I'm just so used to the Xbox controller. I've been playing on Xboxes for like ever, and those gel buttons really gel with me. But yeah, I think this thing's definitely worth a grab if it's something you're interested in. I would highly advise looking into it. And that's going to do it for us today, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't, please do. It'd be awesome. But as always, my friends, take it easy.